Was Emperor Uroš murdered? For centuries, oral tradition claimed that he indeed was killed. In mid-19th century, Serbian historians confirmed Uroš wasn't murdered. This was the moment when history renounced Romanticism. Let's analyze the situation. Emperor Uroš was the son of Emperor Dušan. Serbia only had these two emperors. Dušan was nicknamed Silni, English the Mighty. Dušan conquered most of the Balkans by 1350s. He elevated Serbian church to the level of patriarchy. Dušan took the title of emperor. In 1350s, Dušan was one of the most important rulers in Europe. Dušan also gave code, the book of laws sometimes seen as early constitution. Interesting fact, according to the code, a person could sue the emperor. Dušan suddenly died in 1355. There were speculations that he might have been poisoned. His only child was Uroš. Uroš ruled Serbia 1355 till 1371. He was nicknamed Nejaki, English the weak or not strong. Dušan's empire fell apart during Uroš's lifetime. Epic poetry depicts Uroš as a tragic figure. We should feel sorry for him. At the time, Vukašin rose to power. He was a local nobleman who took the title of king. Vukašin is depicted as evil and greedy in epic poems. Vukašin curses his own son, Prince Marko. Prince Marko is main character of series of epic poems. He is the ultimate hero. According to oral tradition, Vukašin killed Uroš in 1371. The same year, Vukašin was killed in the battle at Marica River. This remained as the fact until 19th century. Now we come to the funniest part of historiography in Serbia. In 19th century, there was huge public feud between Panta Srećković and Ilarion Ruvarac. Panta Srećković was a history teacher who wrote history books. He worked at the highest school operating in Serbia. However, he accepted Serb epic poems as facts. Today, his books are considered inaccurate. His main opponent was Ilarion Ruvarac. He completed studies in law, history, and theology. Ilarion became a monk and rose to the position of deacon of theological seminary. Surprisingly, Ilarion rejected Serb epic poems as historical sources. Both Srećković and Ruvarac were passionate about Serbian history. Their clashes in newspapers became legendary. This was seen as a turning point in Serbian historiography. Ruvarac won the argument. He managed to prove that Uroš was alive after Marica battle. This means Vukašin couldn't have killed Uroš. We know for sure that Vukašin was killed in Marica battle in 1371. Still, it is strange that both Vukašin and Uroš died in the same year. Uroš was only 35 at the time of his death. This is young even for medieval standards. Could he have been killed by someone else? It is possible. The only possible candidate for the murderer is Prince Marko. What were the reasons for Marko to kill Uroš? Marko was Uroš's chosen heir. Uroš was childless. He was the last member of the main branch of Nemanjić dynasty. Marko was a year older than Uroš. There was a chance Marko might die before Uroš. Marko's personality. Epic poems describe Marko as impulsive and stubborn, but they also say Marko loved justice. It is possible Marco killed Uroš in a fit of rage. Epic poems glorify Marco. They would never spread the idea that he killed Uroš. What are the evidence against Marco killing Uroš? The cause of death. We don't know Uroš's cause of death. At 35, he could have had cancer or heart condition. The fact Marco was chosen as heir. Uroš was young enough to father a child. In 1369, Uroš chose Marco as his successor. This makes sense if Uroš was terminally ill. He wouldn't want to leave Serbia without a ruler. This would also explain why he chose someone older than himself as heir. If Uroš knew he was dying, then Marco's age didn't matter. Uroš would die before Marco. Uroš did not participate in the Marica battle. It was the most important battle of the decade. If Uroš was healthy, then he would have fought in the battle. Could epic poems confuse Vukašin with Marco? It happened once before. Epic poems confused First and Second Kosovo battle. As a result, Vuk Branković was branded as traitor. The first Kosovo battle in 1389 is much more famous than the second. The second Kosovo battle was fought in 1448. Vuk Branković was long dead by then. His son Đurađ refused to participate in the battle in 1448. The battle was fought between Hungarian-led crusaders and Ottoman troops. Some blamed Đurađ for the defeat of the crusaders. Epic poetry confused Đurađ with his father Vuk. Now Vuk was blamed for the defeat in 1389. Epic poems do mention the fact that Marco fought on the side of the Turks. They don't try to change this fact. Poems depict Marco as a reluctant ally of the Turks. Marco was the Jure king of Serbia between 1371 and 1395. In reality, he controlled only a small part of Serbia. He died in Rovine battle in 1395 while fighting for the Turks. Later Serb rulers were descendants of Prince Lazar. Prince Lazar was a local nobleman who married Milica. Milica was from the cadet branch of the Nemanjić dynasty. Descendants of Prince Lazar had every reason to glorify their Nemanjić legacy. Depicting Vukašin as murderer fit with the narrative. One can argue there was also psychological detail. Poems portray Uroš as a weakling. Weak people are killed. Perhaps Uroš deserved to be killed for his inability to keep Dušan's empire intact. Poet might have found pleasure in killing off useless ruler. Evil Vukašin makes Marco look better. We will never know for sure how Emperor Uroš died. We can only speculate what happened. Medieval sources are very limited. Only one thing is certain. To quote Ruvarac, and for the third time, King Vukašin did not kill Emperor Uroš.